Hi lovelies, this is Sheree from Divine Visions, bringing you just a small guidance talk about whatever topic is going to come up through these readings today. So I'm not necessarily doing an actual reading as such, like my traditional way of doing a reading today, but I just want to be able to focus on a topic and see what messages are coming through and being channeled through me, okay, for this particular whether it be a divine feminine or divine masculine, or for anyone watching, any viewer today, relating to anything. Let's see what the topics are. So let's have a look for the divine love oracle. No, sorry, the divine oracle straight away. First up. And just asking the spirit guides, spirit families to come forward and just be close with us right now and help direct us and guide us in this life. What do we need to know right now? What is our main focus for this time? And this is a timeless video as well. Childlike wonder. Don't know if you can see that very well. Little girl sitting on the toadstool there, or the mushroom, and she's looking down at a lady beetle. Like a little fairy. She's looking at a ladybug. And what we've got with that energy is a very innocent energy, but we're going to have a look here what's going on, okay? Travel. Romance angels, see what else comes through with this. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. This is a theme that seems to be coming up a lot this week, especially around this time. And there's a lot of emotions running wild, you know, and crazy, usually around this time of year for a lot of people. There can be sadness that comes up. There can be issues within families. And it could be even to do with their own children. You know, this could have something to do with either their own children or issues around children. It could be issues from your own childhood coming up here as well. And what this is, a very innocent energy. It's about looking at life through the eyes of a child and having that enchantment and excitement for life. It's like seeing life for the first time. And there's a very trusting energy with children. But we've got a heavy energy with the forgiving and learning, with all the lessons that we've learnt in our childhood, in our teens, in our adulthood, you know, and even in our past lives. You know, there's so much that we've learnt. There's so many lessons to learn, and there is this I don't know if it's an expectation, but it's a very hard thing to go through the process of learning, because you have to heal through those lessons, you know, and in order to heal fully, forgiveness is a very big component of that, you know, to be able to surrender, to release. And it's not condoning. People get mixed up with this. They think, oh, you're saying I have to forgive this person for what they've done, and it's, you know, caused so much pain and damaged lives, and they're never the same again, etc. But it's not about condoning the actions of the other person. It's not about saying that it's okay. It's not even minimizing what they did or said to you that has caused such damage. It is really about the fact that it is a very freeing energy. It's freeing, right? It's freeing your soul. So you're becoming free. And this is not going to resonate with everybody. Some people will just close off completely to this reading, or not even this reading, but this talk today, because it's too confronting, it's too much to deal with, or they might have just way too much anger and resentment to deal with anything to do with the word forgive. You know, forgiveness, it's a huge thing for some people, or for a lot of people. And there is some stuff, especially every child is innocent. Every child deserves to be safe and protected. And we all have not been safe and protected in our journeys. There has always been somebody along the way, whether it be a parent or a teacher or a family friend or just somebody that we've looked up to or someone that's come into our path that has affected us in some way, has dimmed our light, or has affected our self-esteem, or has physically, emotionally, or spiritually, mentally abused or hurt us in some way. So it's really important that we are able to go within to our inner child as well, to be able to talk to the inner child and tell our inner child that it is okay, that they are safe, that they are loved, that they are not what those people said they were, or they're not defined by how someone may have treated them. You know, because that's what kids do. They tend to be a sponge and they absorb their environment, everything that's going on around them, everything they're told, everything that becomes a belief pattern. They start to, they grow up and believe it when they're an adult. You know, if someone says you're not good enough, or you'll never achieve anything, or you're never going to be anything, and you grow up into an adult and you're striving to be successful, but in the back of your mind you've got that voice saying you'll never be anything. So you go into relationships where you feel like you're not going to ever be good enough for this person, or you will attract, unbeknownst to you and subconsciously, someone who may treat you that way, because it's a wound that needs to be healed. Okay. And a lot of us, because I do a lot of the twin flame readings as well, and soulmate readings, and we do tend to attract people into our lives on a very subconscious level. Of the things we don't want to attract, we actually do attract, because it's our soul's contract in saying we need to learn the lessons to release this pain, the wound has opened. They put salt on the wound. It has to be healed. So there's a cycle and a lot of patterns that occur for people within relationships, especially. We are social beings. We're learning from other people and how it makes us feel. And no one can cause us to really react in a certain way. We tend to believe that someone has caused us, especially twin flames believe that their counterpart has caused them to be damaged or caused them to feel a certain way, when really they're a catalyst. They're not the cause of the wound, okay? They're not the cause of the reaction within you. Who is the cause? If you look back into the feeling, like if you look into the feeling of if someone has triggered currently in your life, you know, something within you, whether they've said something wrong to you or whether they have done something wrong to you, and it has created this, well, it's just triggered really this emotion within you of, you know, maybe feeling that you're not good enough, or that you're not being respected, or that you're not being accepted or approved of, or you're just being treated like crap. And the feelings of sadness and anger and pain and all those things really get triggered quite strongly within somebody when another one is, you know, saying something or doing something that's really hurtful. And when we say they're causing us to feel this, they've made me feel this way, really, if you look within at yourself, at your inner child, and even when you look back in your memories and experiences when you were a child, you're going to recognize, I feel, that there was a significant person or persons or experiences in your life back then where that first feeling was created. Okay. And so I'm going to give an example. You say that, just say that somebody had an alcoholic father, or there was alcoholism in the family, and there was a violent component to that as well. And not even violence, but even if it was just a very volatile situation and not a stable family environment. And then, you know, the child is growing up to believe that they're not in a secure environment. They don't have that emotional stability. They have somebody who's, you know, relying on self-medicating and perhaps changing. Their whole persona changes and everything because of the alcohol. And they say some nasty, horrible things when they've got alcohol in their system. So this child grows up feeling that, okay, when that is occurring, I'm feeling like I'm really not loved, I'm not safe, I'm not cherished. This person's not emotionally available to me. There must be something wrong with me, because when I'm around, this is what they're saying to me, and they're blaming me for things. So that when they grow up to be an adult, they may attract, unbeknownst to them at the time, somebody who has very similar traits, in that they may not necessarily be an alcoholic themselves, but sometimes they do attract alcoholics in their life because there's something they need to heal and move on from, or they may themselves become one. You know, it's like a pattern repeating. But the actual trait that may be coming through in a relationship is someone putting them down all the time, and they may be two people. One minute they're loving, the next minute they're putting them down, and this person's sitting there wondering, what the hell is going on? I don't deserve to be treated this way. And there's this huge pain that is triggered within them because they're realizing that, you know, this person is not good for me. They're toxic. They're affecting my life. They're affecting the way I feel about myself. But the blame completely goes onto the other person. Subconsciously, you know that there is a wound far deeper that goes to a past issue. But especially in twin flame relationships, the complete blame is put on to the other party. Whether they cheated or spoke to someone in a harsh way, or was just plain outright nasty, or perhaps blocked them, just, you know, suddenly stopped talking to them. And, you know, going back on the example, it could be that the child saw that the father or the mother were giving a silent treatment to the other one, and they've grown up learning that, okay, that's what happens when someone has done wrong to someone else, or, you know, they'll get blocked and they won't talk to them anymore. They'll give them the silent treatment, so that when they grow up and they enter into a relationship with someone who does that, instantly it's that pain of feeling like you've done something wrong to make the other person do that. So there's anger, and it's anger stemming from a past thing as well. It's the cause in this connection. I mean, in this example, the cause of that feeling goes back to the childhood issue. Which is then brought through into their whole life, their teenage years, everything, and into their adult lives. And especially when there's a twin flame component here, like if that's the, you know, relationship that someone is having and this happens, oh man, the pain that comes through a twin flame connection is just absolutely full on. And this is not to mention that you guys don't, you know, have karmic relationships along the way as well. So there are people who have had really painful childhoods, broken families, you know, come from broken families, have had to be really strong in their lives growing up, surviving. And then they go into their teen years, and then their adult years, they're having these relationships with people that can be extremely toxic. This is where all the lessons are coming in, who have really damaged them, and they're just like, thank God that's over. And for those who have twin flame connections, when they come in, it's so intense, it's so beautiful, it's loving, it's amazing, and then bang, something happens, and those triggers are coming up, and the responses and reactions on both sides, because they have a past as well. So it's definitely the opportunity to purge and release and heal those things within us, because all they do is just bubble to the surface, and then they explode, and then they come back down to settling down, and then they go right down again and get pushed down underneath, right in the subconscious mind. Everything's just pushed down, don't want to deal with it, especially if there's alcoholism in families. That's what the masking is. It's masking the problem. It's not dealing with it. It's putting a band-aid on it, okay? It's hiding it and not dealing with it. So that's just one aspect. I'm not saying everyone's had alcohol in their life or childhoods or whatever, but that's just an example of how things can start from a childhood issue, right, and then go right into the adult years. And when you're thinking you've dealt with those things and someone comes along and presses that button that you thought was dealt with, or that you just forgot was there, or whatever, or pushed it away and just thought, no, I've dealt with that, I don't want to deal with that, you know, you might have even forgiven your parents, but deep down the pain's still there. There is a wound still there. Now, that's because there are other people along the journey, like Karmics, Soulmates, Karmics, that kind of thing, then the twin flame coming in and pushing the button. And it's saying, oh, I'm going to push this button, you know, to see if this has really been healed. And in most cases, it hasn't. Because there is the reaction of anger and resentment and definitely a need to self-protect, and that is obvious. That is accepted. You know, that's to be expected, I should say. That someone is going to remove themselves from a hurtful situation like that anyway. You have every right to. Just because you're forgiving someone or wanting to does not condone what they're doing. Does not accept what they've done. You know, it's not saying it's okay that you've done this to me or that you've said those things to me because I know it's come from my past. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is there's a deeper understanding to this. There's a deeper cause for the issues that are coming up regarding the relationships, the romantic relationships here. Because childhood stuff, a lot of people often forget too. They go blank on what's happened in their childhood if it's been a very traumatic experience for them as well. And your parents, no matter what they were doing, you know, they only dealt with you and your siblings perhaps and other people with only what they knew at the time, the only knowledge that they had at the time to deal with things. And I'm not excusing them, but it's fact. They only dealt with or came from a place of confusion. And, you know, their parents and the parents before, it is a generational thing here as well. The trauma is, you know, passed on from generation to generation. And so this is where especially twin flames can come in, but any kind of connection, whether it be a karmic or soulmate, triggering things within somebody. Any time you get a trigger, it is an opportunity to heal, to face it head on, and to actually look at it and analyze it and say, shit, I'm actually feeling this really strongly within myself. Where is this actually coming from? Is this person? Is it just solely from them? Or is this something that's been happening to me for a long time? Is this something that I've forgotten about that happened to me when I was very young? You got to go within yourself and find out where this cause is coming from. It's not just this one person. And I'm not saying that they can't inflict pain, because people can be nasty and they can be ignorant, and it doesn't matter if they're a twin flame or not. You know, they can still be ignorant on their journey. They're still learning. Everybody's learning. See, learning. Everybody's learning. And you can still have that strong justice type energy within yourself of, okay, I don't stand for this, and I'm going to have this self-respect and, you know, self-protect my, you know, self, and bring in the self-protection and the respect and the boundaries and all that, because you don't have to put up with this from anybody. It doesn't matter if it's a twin flame or not. But a lot of people need to go within themselves on a solo journey and really heal a lot of the crap that's happened from their past before they can actually move into something that's going to be a divine love union anyway. You have to find union with yourself first. That's what I'm saying here. The child is innocent but also wounded. And so it's up to the adult to look within to the inner child and heal that inner child and build them up and make sure they're secure and make sure they are healed. Take the lessons with you as blessings on your path and journey. And that's going to sound really harsh to some people because there has been a lot of painful lessons. Who wants to take that on board? But at the same time, it is a gift, because when we have suffering, we are actually learning compassion, about compassion. We're being compassionate towards ourselves, towards others, okay, towards our twin. If there's a lot of anger within you and you just can't get past it, it's just going to take time, because time is the biggest healer as well as love. So this is what it is. Like, I know people go on and on about this self-love thing, but it is so damn true. And you know, I'm no guru. I'm not completely healed in my life or anything as well, and I'm not even in union with my twin yet. I'm still working on my own union with myself, and I've come out. Oh my God, the amount of pain I have been through with my twin. I could write a novel or more with it. You know, I could write a whole movie on it. I'm sure a lot of you can. And it's just, I have been there. I have seriously been there in that dark place. I have felt suicidal. I have wanted to really hurt somebody. I have been so angry in the past where I've really wanted to harm someone, you know, and I've wanted to harm myself. I have never wanted to contact or have anything to do with that person ever again. And this is amazing to think of, because they're our twin. They're the other half of our soul, you know, and even with soulmates, you know, these people come in to teach us lessons about ourselves, and they're usually companions, you know. They usually are our best mates, soulmates. But even the Karmics come in, and I actually thank them spiritually, you know, about the lessons they've brought in to help strengthen my character, to help me be the person I am today. You know, even a twin flame can inflict so much pain because they're, as I said, still human. Well, we're spiritual beings on a human path, but they're still learning on their journey. Whether it's a divine feminine or divine masculine, everyone's learning, and everybody is coming from a place of confusion, suffering, and ignorance initially. Because everybody's trying to find out where they fit in the world, what they are, who they are. Why did these things happen to me? Why is this even allowed in this world? You know, this pain and suffering. And this is especially the mind of a child. Like, they're so innocent and so giving and loving and just gentle, open. They're not closed at all. They're open. It's only until someone inflicts pain or gives them a reason to fear something that there's a separation and a suspicion that comes in. You know, and there's so much healing to do within the adult mind. There's so much experiences. Like, everyone's different. Everyone's got a different journey. Everyone's going to go through more trauma than others, you know, but it doesn't matter, because trauma is trauma. What might seem simple to you that someone else has gone through is going to be massive for them. And the same within twin flame, soulmate connections, karmics even. It really depends on where you are on your journey, your understanding of things, and looking at things from a higher perspective. Not getting too caught up in dramas and in the drama of the story. Realizing that, okay, that was hell and that was shit. But it's in the past, and I'm going to pick myself up now and move on from this and heal and I'll never allow that to happen again. Because you're learning and you're moving forward and you're growing. It's called spiritual growth. It's the evolution of the soul. And so this is where it starts from, is the self-love. Because if you're loving yourself and you're healing this inner child, you're going to be able to be free, and this is what I feel this travel card is, be able to be free to move and be wherever you want to be in your life. This is another message coming through, which has really gone a little bit off track, but it's not. It's a different message. That's all it is coming through. Is that for some children, you know, when you were children, looking back in your past, you might have moved around a lot. You might have never really felt stable, like there was stability in your home life. That there was always movement. That there was just this. It may be even emotional instability, or even physical instability. It's like moving around and not feeling safe and supported and stable. So I just feel like that's another aspect of the message coming through, that's something that you're really striving for. And we always want to travel to where our home is. Like, home is where the heart is. And sometimes within a twin flame connection, they are our home. We expect them to be there to provide a shelter for us, to provide support and comfort and warmth. And when we don't get that, we become quite upset and fearful and become like that childlike energy, you know, where we freak out and we start pointing the blame, and it's very, very hard. It's very complex. It's very, it's just difficult to find that peace and comfort within your own self sometimes, because we're always expecting, on a subconscious level, someone else to come and make us feel safe or make us feel better. And when they don't, the person, especially the one person who we look to or look up to, who is supposed to provide that for us, and they don't, or they lash out at us and they are inflicting pain on us, we become quite angry about that. But at the end of the day, we really are responsible for our own happiness and our own support and our own security. Nobody else can bring that in for us. They can support us with that on our path. But really, we are our own creators. We are our own healers in life. We have to be able to take back our power and not give it away to anyone else. And, you know, everyone's at a different journey. Everyone's at a different level on their journey. This is also a journey, okay? This is also representative of the journey that we're in. And so some of you will still be stuck in some of these patterns. Some of you will revert back into this energy and not know how to come out of it and remain and hold that grudge. You know how some kids can hold a grudge for a while. You know, I'm not playing with that kid because he was mean to me, but then sometimes, other times, children can be very quick to change, like can be very forgiving. And yeah, it's about being able to move and go with the flow and accept and allow the flow of life, the flow of lessons to come in. A lot of us are stuck and stuck in the past pain from the lesson, and we don't want to forgive. It's almost like we need to hold that on to into our soul, you know, hold on to it, because if we let go of that, then we're giving them power, which is not true. Now I want to just choose one more for this today, for this message. What else do we need to know, please? I really feel that if you're ready to embark on the journey of self-healing and love and acceptance and you know, accepting of learning new ways to deal with things, like a new perspective, then dreams can come true. Your dreams can come true. What seems like a nightmare, we're looking at the dream catcher here, what seems like a nightmare doesn't have to live with you and be stuck with you forever. You can let it go. Yeah, you really do. You do have the power. Some of you feel like you're just very limited in the way things are with other people around you. Spirit messengers are coming through. There's animal guides coming through as well, I feel, to help guide you in life. They're like signposts along the way. I know you can't see this very well, but there's a crow on the mushroom here, And it feels to me that there will be signs coming to you, like physical signs, like birds and butterflies and things like that, that actually allow you to know you're on the right path. That's when you know you're actually starting to awaken to life and the spiritual journey of where you're meant to be. You're in tune with yourself. You're not too bogged down and just focused and tunnel vision just on the one thing that's going on within your life. Okay, you start to wake up and look at the world differently, like through the eyes of a child. And you're going to be embracing courage as well. So you can embrace courage through this journey, the courage to face these things, the courage to let go. Some people are really freaked out about letting go because they think letting go means that there's no acknowledgement. They don't feel like validated for what they've gone through. And you may never, ever get that from the other party. You may never get an apology. You may never get acknowledgement of what they've done to you. And at the end of the day, you can't hang around waiting for that. Do you really want to wait around for that? How many years could go by? Yeah. So this courage is coming through to face these things within yourself when you are ready to, when it is time. Some people may choose never to. You know that it might be too confronting. But, I mean, there are healers in the world. There are counselors. There are trusted friends. There is many modalities that you can get into that can actually help you to start accepting the things that have happened to you. But I feel a lot of you will take back your power. I really do feel that. I feel that that's coming. Because enough already, I'm hearing. It's enough already. A lot of you have had enough already. Wow, look at this. The one fell down. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And this can also be what you've grown up with in your culture, in your home life, what you've... you know, there could be strong difference in cultural backgrounds or religious backgrounds as well between yourself and another party. Your belief systems, once again, are based on the family. It's the family roots, okay? That's where it comes from. But we've had many past lives and many different religious beliefs. So that's an interesting thought. Heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So it feels to me that perhaps a lot of you are being encouraged to speak to your higher power here, okay? Have talks to them, pray to them, to ask them for help. But it's also, I believe, your loved ones in spirit are helping you to also have the heart-to-heart with somebody that you need to clear that energy, to clear that space, to heal, for closure perhaps. Some people receive closure, some never do, but they can still heal along the way. It may be that if you just can't physically speak to somebody, you may do this through a spiritual, spiritually. It may be that you go into a meditation or just some mindful energy, like a space within yourself where you're mindful and you're just sitting down and being able to speak to them from your heart, from your soul, to them. And it's amazing it's really amazing what can happen. It really is. The shifts in energy and everything. So, look, I really hope that's given you some insight today. And I just felt really drawn to, after especially doing the Tough Love series on the Divine Feminine and Forgiveness message. I mean, that's a heavy message. It really is. And it comes on strong. That's why it's called Tough Love. But some people won't be ready to hear it. And I just felt so drawn to just sitting down. I kept having this niggling feeling. I feel my guides are with me, wanting to pass this message on to people because I feel like someone can get something out of it, okay? So I really look forward to connecting with you all next time. Love and blessings.